I'm a very like put all my eggs in one basket and not be like 50-50 of like, it's kind of cool, but it's kind of not. I fully believe in like, if you want something to work, you have to put forth like full effort.
Welcome to Honest Ecommerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Electric Eye. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest E-Commerce. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and today I'm welcoming to the show an amazing founder of an extremely unique product. I can't wait to dive into this one. Welcome to the show, Rayan.
Hey, how you doing, Chase?
Doing fantastic, dude. So, Cloudsharks, what types of products are you bringing to market for people that are unfamiliar?
So, Cloudsharks, they're, long story short, shark slippers. So they're slippers, slides that look like sharks, and the cloud is pretty much the comfort of them. Very squishy, very comfortable. And this is the first product we launched. It's our best seller to date. And we have a wide range of products now. We also have like winter ones and stuff. We have some for kids, whatnot, but that's the idea behind Cloudsharks. So
awesome. And where did this idea come from?
So I was getting back into e-com about a year and a half ago. I took a break to finish school, get my degree. And I usually used websites like Alibaba to look at products and whatnot, just things that I've seen. And I saw those and, thought they were pretty cool. Did my research across, the whole e-commerce space, the market, everywhere. And had never been introduced. Nobody had sold the product. And, I ordered a sample, talked to my girlfriend, my family. They're like, nah, it's okay. And I was like, I don't know. Something was really special about them. And decided to take a shot. And it just kind of blew up from there.
Awesome. So you said that you were checking out websites like Alibaba and stuff to try to find a product that worked. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So I would say like 90% of the world, at least US, I would think gets their products from China. Alibaba is the biggest global retailer, I think, in the world, or wholesale retailer in the world. And it's just got a wide range of like products from like anything you can think of, like absolutely anything. And just kind of just scrolling, seeing whatever caught my eye. And it was something that immediately I was like, these are kind of cool. And like I said, I got some opinions and kind of slept on it and woke up one day, gut feeling, intuition was like, I need to order a sample of these. And yeah.
Awesome. So you get the sample in. How do you kind of go from this is a cool product to like, I think we have maybe a potential business here?
I didn't. So whenever I've launched any businesses in the past, this was my first successful one. Anything I've ever launched never had proof of concept. I'm a blue ocean type of person. I like to trailblaze, be an innovator, whatever the case is. And so there was no proof of concept and no validation, no Google Trends, nothing to say that, this was a good product. It was just, I looked at it, I tried them on. I was like, this is a good product. Like, I think over the years of being in e-com and, developing my skills and stuff, I just looked at it and had that hunch, and I'm a really strong believer in like gut and intuition. And I just kind of went with it,
Awesome. All right. So you are feeling this product, and I'm assuming there's a lot of listeners out there that they're feeling their own product. How do you go from like, I believe this is a winner to selling it? To
like it becomes a winner. I kind of just said, like I said, I was just getting back into e-com. I took kind of like a hiatus, and I was just like, whatever happens, happens. I'm a very like put all my eggs in one basket and not be like 50-50 of like, it's kind of cool, but it's kind of not. I fully believe in like, if you want something to work, you have to put forth like full effort into actually like trying and stuff. So, made the website and was like, whatever happens, happens. But like, I'm dedicating my time, passion, energy towards this. I think it's really cool, and I believe it could be something. And we launched April 6th, 2022. So we'll be hitting a year soon. And it was primarily TikTok ads. And within a day, like it just took off. We hit over 100K in the first 30 days.
That's amazing. How did you guys kind of crack the code with TikTok? You kind of alluded a few times to your experience in e-com. Can you kind of bring that into the mix? Do you think that someone could have found a winning product like this and mimicked your success?
Absolutely. I definitely think it could have been mimicked. I think I talk a lot about luck. I've told a few people, some people on mentoring, and just in general, like the skill set is, I think, like 60-70%, but I just happened to stumble on the product at that exact time and then when I researched the product, there was nobody selling it. So what I think is, had I waited, let's say 2, 3, 4 months, we might not be here today, So I think it was definitely a mix of luck and just after having that hunch, having that intuition of like, this is cool, to just execution and speed and just like going all in,
Gotcha. So what was that execution?
So like I said, we started primarily with TikTok ads and that took off immediately. And then I think what really was a big lever was at the end of April when I was running TikTok ads, my account got suspended for a month because I was showing a Nike slide in my ad and they strike me with like copyright. And so I wasn't I didn't have a lot of experience with Facebook ads. So I started using TikTok organic, which I'm sure you heard of. Everyone loves to talk about it now. And that's when things just really, really took off. May was our second month. And I think we did almost 200K at about 45% margins. So all of a sudden, I have zero advertising costs and I'm just starting to rack up, cash flow and being able to reinvest that immediately back in the business. Like I remember I didn't pay myself for like 3, 4, 5 months because every dollar was going back in. Like I had that momentum and it started with TikTok ads and then the TikTok organic. And then all of a sudden now I'm pushing myself on Google. I hired an email guy, a Google guy, and just like started going omni-channel and just really, going at it.
So what's the difference between, your product and someone else kind of sourcing the same thing from China? Like what kind of work did you put in to really differentiate yourself?
Branding. That's probably my strongest suit is going to be the creative side. So branding and like creative strategy. And when I saw the momentum, I knew that I didn't have a strong barrier to entry because anybody could have sourced the product and sold it. And at the time I was shipping them from China, typical like drop shipping, and I knew I had no edge with the momentum I was building. And, with the eyes that I'm starting to attract, I know people are going to want to start selling it. So 2 weeks in, when I saw the momentum, I had, the guys I was working with to drop ship the products. We had inventory in our China warehouse. And I was like, look, guys, this thing's taken off. We need to brand it right away. Like I need to start creating, something, a community, whatever. And so within a couple of weeks, we added custom packaging, a thank you card, pretty much doing anything we could to just start creating this like brand flywheel. And, that's what really started the separation from anybody who's, trying to sell it. And then as soon as I hired an email guy, that started helping with like retention and, lifetime value, repeat customers. We started, doing product drops, and just, expanding product lines, customer service, making sure those were dialed in and just really creating that brand feeling, if you will,
I kind of just want to ask a question that I know that our listeners will be curious about. And you don't have to give me exact numbers here, but launching and kind of testing this product on TikTok, what kind of budgets were you spending like a week or a month just to really set expectations there? I
think when I started the business, I had about $3,000 saved up. I was working a 9 to 5. I was working in cybersecurity. So I was making $50K a year. So it was like $1,500 every couple of weeks. And I remember I had about $2,500, $3,000 in my bank account. And I didn't really have a set budget of what I had. I just said like all my money that I make is going towards this. And I think I started, $100, $200 a day, $300, and the ROI was it came back immediately because, like I said, of it being such a new concept, no proof of concept, and people just liked it. My intuition of this is a cool product gave me the ROI immediately. So it didn't require a lot of like initial budget. Like I got the money back instantly, and then we were profitable from the get, and it was pretty much a rinse and repeat and just building off of that.
Hey there, merchant. Are you tired of trying to navigate the wild world of e-commerce on your own? Are you looking for a partner to help you achieve your goals? Look no further than the Shopify Plus agency Electric Eye. Our team has a proven track record of helping our clients make millions with strategic design and development. Whether you're migrating from a legacy platform to Shopify, designing a new theme for your store, or just looking to optimize what you already have, Electric Eye is the perfect partner for you. Electric Eye are true Shopify experts. Not only is our Shopify knowledge unparalleled, but we have partnerships with all the best tech in the Shopify ecosystem. And don't worry, we're easy to get a hold of. Our clients rave about our fast communication. So here's the deal. If you're an e-commerce business doing over $1 million a year, you can receive a complimentary Shopify diagnostic from our team of experts. That's free, personalized, strategic recommendations to improve your store and grow your business. To get started, head on over to electriceye.io/connect to schedule an intro call with one of our experts. That's electriceye.io/connect. Hey there, merchants. Are you struggling to get your Merchant Center ads approved but keep running into a price mismatching error? Wondering how your competitors are showing reviews, price, delivery, and product availability directly in search results? What if there was a way to get your ads approved for the first time and get more traffic without fighting for rankings? That's where JSON-LD for SEO comes in. It's an app that helps you get more organic traffic to your Shopify store, qualifying you for over a dozen search enhancements, and provides all the structured data you need for Merchant Center. JSON-LD for SEO automatically adds the structured data needed, and it's updated regularly as the rules change by Google. It's a hands-off SEO app that you don't need to monkey around with to get working. It's the safest, easiest, and most effective way to stand out from your competitors in search results. Contact us to get your free structured data audit for your store. Find JSON-LD for SEO in the Shopify App Store to get started. That's JSONLD for SEO, or go to JSONLD.app, JSONLD.app. Hey everybody, Chase here to talk about an amazing new product that's hitting the market. So, what do brands like Warby Parker, Dr. Squatch, Vital Proteins, and Blendjet all have in common? They're all increasing their abandoned cart revenues by over 10x with Retention.com. Retention.com helps direct-to-consumer brands harness the power of identity to transform lost leads into sales and rapidly expand their abandoned revenues. Retention.com is giving Honest E-commerce listeners 20% off their annual commitment. If you're not seeing the results that you want within 60 days, you can opt out at no charge. Head on over to retention.com/honest. That's retention.com/HONEST to book a demo today. You mentioned that one of the points of the business was obviously branding and then starting to hold stock here in America. If you were to go back and do it all over again, would you do it exactly the same way, or is there anything you'd change?
So I think someone's asked me that before. It's really interesting. I think if I were to go back in time, I would have transitioned to the US earlier, or I would have waited. So we started moving inventory to the US starting mid-August, September. That was when the whole ball started rolling. We didn't start selling in the US until November, but the time that the way it worked out, and we started selling in the US in November, one of the busiest months of the year. I think the busiest, Q4, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I had no idea how to project inventory, how to forecast. I just ordered what I thought made sense. We had our best month. We did 400,000, close to it, and sold out of our inventory within a month. So now I was kind of sat here with no stock. And I had ordered more, but we had like a 2-month lead time. So I sat there for like 2 months with very little cash flow, and like the business pretty much almost went down. And if I could go back, I would have made that transition earlier, before that busy season, or after Q4 and into Q1 2023. But all in all, like I said, I'm starting to hit the year mark, and I'm starting to think about like what I did and just the process and everything. And I don't think I would have changed anything else other than that.
Gotcha. I know that one of the limitations that people run into with scaling a business as rapidly as you have is kind of the financial aspect of it. So can you shed any light on how you pulled that off?
Yeah. So the hardest part, what was that whole transition to the US, because all of a sudden I have to, drop $100,000+ on inventory, and it's got a 2-month cycle. I think cash conversion cycle is what it's called, of like, I'm not going to see those returns till we start selling. I think one of the biggest things that I did is what I see, at least what I think I see in the Twitter space, is that, people love the instant gratification of, I'm making X amount, I need to pay myself X amount, and I need to buy such and such. With me, it was like, I need more money so I can put more dollars back in the business. Like I told you, I didn't pay myself for forever. I was so scared to, because I just wanted to keep building the business. I just moved out of my mom's house like 4 or 5 months ago. But previously I was working in my garage. I cleaned out the whole garage. I set up a whole workspace for myself, and pretty much lived on, I had no bills, kept everything to a minimal. And like I said, just every dollar that was coming to the business was going straight back, whether it's to product expansion, brand expansion, exploring new channels, hiring, VAs, working on back end, infrastructure stuff. And that's where I think really built me to where I am now, where I've just set up solid, structures and foundations. But back to, the whole financial part, I think it's just, I was just really responsible and saw a vision once I got the momentum that I was able to have that money available. And just as of, I think 4 months ago, I started paying myself, and it's only about $2,600 a month. So not much at all, but I don't, I'm not somebody who needs a lot. So.
Gotcha. So what's on the next, horizon for Cloudsharks? What are you going to do? How are you going to grow this? What's next?
So we just launched on Amazon. That's starting to take off, because there are some people who do sell ours on Amazon. We did add a layer of branding to our slide, which is the logo, to add some type of like proprietary stuff. Like I said, we launched on Amazon, which is, taking off pretty well. We're diving into the wholesale space now. I potentially just landed like a really large client. And yeah, wholesale is going to be a big space for us, because just the margins are great, and it's just the reach that, we can get. So we have two potentially big clients that we're working with through wholesale. And then as far as continuing to grow, my only limitation has been inventory. Inventory requires capital, and really just building up, the funds that I have to keep ordering more and more inventory. Because yeah, we do on average about 250 to 300K a month, and that's only capped because of, you can only scale as fast as your cash flow allows, your inventory. But we have the systems in place to get to those 500,000, 600,000-700,000 months, and just really just continue to reinvest, continue to grow, and to do it like at a sustainable pace so that, things don't break.
Awesome. Now, looking back on it, these last, almost a year now, does anything stand out as like a mistake that you made along the way that you want to like say, hey, everyone else, don't do this? Yeah,
actually, it's one of the reasons why cash flow has kind of hindered me from scaling further. So it wasn't a bad thing, but pretty much when the business started blowing up, and a month and a half later, I quit my job, and I was like, that's it, I'm going all in on this. The momentum kept growing. I was like, oh my God, I need to hire, outsource everything. So I hired, a Facebook guy. I hired an email guy. I hired a TikTok guy. I hired a CRO agency. I think I said email already. I hired a Pinterest ads agency. Like, I outsourced absolutely everything. And, we grew, we scaled. Like I said, we started, I think in August, we were doing 250K, 270K, consistently. And then things were just going. I was so focused on the day to day that I didn't have like my finances in check. I was just like, sales are booming, like things are going, I'm working hard, like I'm good. And I started having a hunch one day that the money wasn't growing in my bank account, or like things, like we were growing in revenue, but I was like, something's not right. It was like 3 a.m. before I went to bed. And I was like, I pretty much had this thought of like, I don't think I'm getting paid as much as I think I am. And so that led me to really dive into my financials, looking at my P&Ls, looking at, what's at the surface level, what's going in and what's going out. And long story short, more money was going out than it was coming in. And I pretty much had way too many operating expenses. I was paying for too many people. I was on a lot of performance-based agreements. So as we scaled, those fees grew. And I think it was like 2 or 3 month period between like August, September, October, where we did close to, I don't know, I think like 700,000. And my, I think, actual take home after everything was like 10K, 15K. It's like 1%, 2% margins. And, that led me down a rabbit hole of like cost cutting and basically becoming as lean as possible in the business. And that mistake happened. And I felt that mistake when we ran out of stock, and I had already ordered more inventory, but my bank account wasn't as high as it should have been had I been like more lean. And yeah, so like I said earlier, the business pretty much almost went down. I had, I think, $7,000 in my bank account, and I didn't think I was going to make it. Like, I didn't think I was going to be able to pay for my credit card bills. And, I went through like a 2-3 week period of just like shutting down. Didn't think I was going to make it. And one day I talked to my dad about it, because my family knows I own a business and I run the business, but they don't really, ask too much about it. My dad asked me like, what's going on? How's everything? I said, not good. And he pretty much gave me a pep talk, like, get your butt up. Like, that's not who you are. Like, you're either going to make it or you're going to die, like, trying. Like, that was the words. And, I went home, woke up the next day, and I was like, all right, let's get out of this, So operating expenses. Yeah. Making sure you have your finances dialed in.
Gotcha. This has been a fantastic episode. It's just, it's so surprising, the how fast you can scale a winning product. Yeah. And it just really comes down to product is almost everything.
No, I completely agree. I think once you have the right product, as long as, you're marketing it the way you should, you have the creative side dialed in, and which, like I said, is my strong suit. Man, like, you could really take things far,
So yeah, is there anything I haven't asked you about that you think would really resonate with our audience?
Nothing else that I can think of. This is a little off topic. I wanted to give kind of a shout out to Sam Mendelsohn. He's the owner of Workspace 6. It's a big community of like, I think minimum seven-figure brand owners. It goes all the way to 9. And he actually introduced me to your podcast and stuff. And one big thing I think that I haven't talked about is the whole networking aspect of things. I think being in a community like that, like I'm multi-7-figure right now. There's people that are 9-figure. So, if you think I'm smart, like there's people that are, way above me and stuff. And it's been like an amazing community. I just want to, say a shout out to him, and just like networking in general has been really big, especially like within that community and stuff. But yeah, I think you've covered everything.
Absolutely. And we'll make sure to link down to his community in the show notes of this episode as well, so people can check it out if they think that's something that they might want to join.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks so much.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes. You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestecommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.